Alright guys, I'm just gonna get real with you in this video because my husband and I bought a new construction house about a year ago and we kind of regret it. So here's why. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca. I'm a realtor based here in southeastern Idaho, and I make videos every single week talking about all things life in Idaho, things to do here, tips for buying or selling here, and kind of just sharing my experience living here. But in today's video, I wanted to share a more personal experience, talking about my experience buying and living in a new construction house, because I feel like these are kind of things that people like me don't exactly think about when they buy it. So just a word of caution, if you are thinking about buying a new construction house, let's jump on in. Okay, and first off, this isn't to like shade anyone that wants to buy a new construction house or any builders of new construction houses. This is literally just my experience and my perspective on things, and these things might not even be issues for you, but I do feel like it's helpful sometimes to hear other people's experiences with things, especially if it's something that you've been considering. So whether or not these would be issues for you or would concern you is up to you. I'm just going to share what my experience has been and you can go from there. But a little backstory. So my husband and I bought this house last summer. We were kind of on a timeline crunch to find a house that we would be able to get into quickly and close on quickly. So I feel like that was kind of a factor that like propelled us into this specific house. And not even to say that like we're not happy in this house, because we absolutely love our house. These are just kind of some issues that we're running into, or like problems that now we're like, okay, yeah, we wouldn't do that in the future. This is just the situation that we're in now. But like I said, I think it's helpful sometimes to just share my experience so you can take it and do with it what you want, but just so you have that knowledge. But yeah, these are some of the reasons why we have now started saying we would never buy a new construction house again. Also, to add to that, we didn't really have a traditional like new construction home buying experience. Like we didn't get to build our house. We didn't customize it or anything like that. It was already done when we bought it. I think the people that had designed it and built it and gone through that whole process, their financing had fallen through, and so this house came up and we jumped on it. And luckily we love the way it's designed. We love like the finishes that they picked and everything like that. But just so you know, we didn't have the traditional experience of like working with the builder and picking out all the finishes and like the designs and everything that we wanted. Kind of just got lucky that it was our style and we liked all of that, but we didn't go through that process from like them building the entire house to the end of it. It was just done when we bought it. So just so you know, that's what happened. Okay, so honestly, the number one reason that we would not buy a new construction house again is mainly just because there's no landscaping. And not only that, but I'll show a video in here. Our yard is so bad with the weeds. When we bought it, it was literally a weed forest, and we've gone through, we've rented equipment, we have like scraped the entire yard clean, and then it's all come back up. So we are literally, as we speak, my husband is out in the yard scraping it, trying to get all the weeds up again. And that has been the biggest hassle that we just did not think through when we bought this house. But aside from that, it just kind of sucked, like not having a yard, not having grass. Like we have a dog and a kid, and it just, we cannot wait until we have a finished yard and grass and just room to play out there. I will say though, if you are thinking about buying a new construction home, I'm sure you have thought through that you need to have the money to finish your yard. And like I said, we were kind of in a time crunch when we bought this house, so we thought about it, but I feel like we didn't really, it didn't hit us until now when we're like, okay, now we need to do our yard. But it is very, very expensive. A lot of people, especially in our neighborhood and everything, do sod. That is way too expensive for us. We did not want to do that. So we're just doing grass seed. And so again, it's that process of waiting for grass to grow and everything like that. But that is just a big factor that I would definitely urge you to consider and put a lot of thought into, on either if you're okay with spending that much money to put in a sprinkler system, to do landscaping, to put in grass, to do landscaping around the house and everything like that, because that is a big big expense, especially if you have a larger lot or anything like that. So a word of caution there. Make sure you put a lot of thought into that, on if that's okay with you. And if it is, that's great. Just something big to consider. Also going off of that is that new construction houses don't have fenced yards, and maybe that's not an issue for you. For us, like I said, we have a dog, which is the main thing. We wanted to have a fence, and I just prefer a fence for a little bit more privacy. So if that's not an issue for you, then this isn't an issue. But fencing is another thing that is insanely expensive that a lot of people don't think about or just don't know how much it costs. But I will say, we have half an acre. We fenced in our backyard, and it was over $10,000 to fence it. So take that information and do with it what you will, but just something to consider. It is very, very expensive to put a fence up. Okay, another thing, and again, this may not be an issue for you at all, but aside from just not having a yard and not having grass, I also kind of don't like that there's not any mature landscaping. We put some trees in this summer, but they're small trees. They're not going to be big for a very, very long time. And so I like having those trees, but if you like having huge old trees or anything like that, keep in mind that a new construction house is not going to have that. So if that's something that's important to you, it might be a better fit for to look at some slightly older neighborhoods or just areas that have some more mature landscaping, because I kind of miss that. All right, and the final thing is just that we talk about this all the time, and keep in mind that me and my husband are big on like homes that have a lot of character and homes that feel very homey. And I feel like we've been able to create that in our house just with like our items and our style and everything like that. But our old house was old, and we put a lot of work into it, renovating it and just making it exactly, well, not exactly how we wanted it because we never finished it, but making areas of the house like how we wanted them. And I feel like that gave it a lot of character. And a new construction house is obviously brand new, and especially if you're in a neighborhood, all of the homes are pretty similar. So something that I just kind of miss is having a home with more character. Like I said, I love our house. I love the layout. I love the style. And a lot of that is just what we've done with that, of course. But I kind of miss just having like the character of a slightly older home. So again, if that's something that's important to you, a new construction house just might not be the best fit for you. Okay, but yeah, those are honestly the main reasons why we kind of regret buying a new construction house, or why, I won't say we regret it, but why we wouldn't do it again in the future. And I also kind of feel like there's a difference, because we always say our dream life is where we're able to just buy our land and build like our dream house on it. And I feel like that's a little bit different than buying a new construction house, because it's more custom, it has more character. It's not just, you know, a neighborhood of new construction houses. So that is also something to consider if you're wondering about buying a new construction house in a neighborhood or just building a custom house. I do think there's a difference there, but yeah, just something to keep in mind if you guys have been considering a new build or anything like that. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's a really great option. It just kind of depends on if you're okay with some of these things and if you think it would be the best fit for you. So just keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions on any of this, as always, feel free to drop them below. Send me an email, connect with me on social media, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to help however I can. And until my next video, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.